So one of the first key decisions I had to make when building my startup was, where do we base ourselves out of? I think the Bay Area used to be a clear winner here, but post-pandemic, things have gotten a lot muddier. Living here over the last 4 years, I felt like there were two major flights of people out of the city. There's one that just went to New York, and then there's the other that went to general remote. And I've seen that this flight of people has taken a lot of energy out of the Bay. So as I decided to make my startup this year, it had me second guessing if the Bay Area was really the best place to build it. Now that I've been at this for a few months, I would say it's a resounding yes. And at least for me, it would have been a big mistake to decide to build this anywhere else. One of the first factors in this decision was the industry that we're building in. I want to get the obvious stuff out of the way here. We're an AI company. All of the energy in AI is in the Bay. It seems like the vast majority of funding, the vast majority of startups is occurring here. So it just made sense. The way all of this affects me as a founder is, one, I have a community of people that I can talk to that are going through something similarly, and I can talk to them in person. Two, I'm able to meet with investors in person, which is really helpful. It definitely feels like a moment. For example, on Wednesday, I was playing basketball, and in between games, I found that other people were building other AI companies, and it was something that we're able to catch up on. I know that's not the best environment to just live your day-to-day life, like kind of feels like one big corporate offsite in the city. But if you're here to build a company, I can't really think of a better place where you're going to have more people to talk to and just feel like you're in something together. Ironically, it may come as a surprise to some folks that the AI moment is happening in San Francisco with how many people have moved out. But to me, it makes sense. You have to think of the type of people that can actually build AI applications from the ground up. And that's engineers and research scientists, which historically, I know this is changing a little bit, but it's not like the most extroverted group of people. So when you see your super social product manager or VC making their why I'm moving to New York post or why I'm moving to New York video, I don't think that's super representative of where the core people are at these days. San Francisco's one, extremely moderate weather. Again, not a reason to move here, but it is a reason to build a company here. When you have the same weather every single day, you lose the ability to have FOMO, or at least it drastically decreases. One of the biggest things about weather is that it creates anticipation. So if you're in a Midwest city and it's that first day where it's over 60 degrees, everybody's freaking out. They're all out. It's the most social day ever. And you have this immense sense of guilt and anxiety by just not being outside. Similarly, in the mountains, if it's a powder day, you're going to feel horrible for not getting there. If you're building a company, most of your day is just going to be sitting down staring at a computer or being with your team. And having that consistent just 60 to 70 degrees, nothing's going to change. It makes it so that you don't really feel like you're missing out on anything. So you're not staring at your laptop on a Saturday with this immense sense of anxiety. Again, not the funnest thing, not the place maybe you want to live overall, but it does seem to be one of the best environments to start a company. And even though the weather is mild, super sunny, clear, easy to wake up, there's no day where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go outside. It's always pretty solid. So it's really easy to just be consistent, be in that routine. There's no environmental factor that's going to throw you off. And then the last thing, when you start a company, what I'm realizing is my cortisol level is through the roof. It is higher than it has ever been in my entire life. And my way in the Bay Area of getting away from that is being outside. It's hiking, it's going around the beach, it's running around the city. And there's just all of these things that I can do that are healthy ways to get away from my elevated stress level. I think if I was in a place where the main offerings were these super social party environments, I don't know if that would be the most healthy way for me to get away from my work for a little bit. And the last major thing that I'm noticing right now is customers tend to be a little bit more tech forward and early adopting in the Bay Area. We're building in healthcare, so we're looking at an industry who may not be super willing to take on tech, and we're basically trying to persuade them that by using our tool, they'll be able to be more efficient in their day-to-day life. That ends up being an uphill battle, and we'll take any advantage that we can get. And it's been great to talk to people who, instead of telling us why everything will go wrong, they tell us why things will go right. For example, we met with a chief executive at Stanford, and they said that companies like ours are why they moved to the Bay Area in the first place. And companies like ours are obviously why I moved to the Bay Area in the first place. So everybody's kind of aligned that we want to break the status quo. It's part of why you make some of the sacrifices to live in a place like this. So many of us are away from our families just trying to chase some dream, but we're all in it together. There's so many reasons not to live here overall, but I really can't think of a better place to build a company. Building a company isn't some super fun, extroverted, out at the bar every night type of thing. You need to be able to focus, and I can't think of a better place to focus where you have more tailwinds than San Francisco and the Bay Area. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts. There's obviously great arguments for all these other cities, lower cost of living, maybe it's cool to have more young energy, but I like San Francisco for what I'm doing, and that's my piece. So I'll check in with you guys later.